Don't touch that dial. You're tuned in to the Dread Podcast Network.
What's your favorite scary movie?
Oh, come on, you know I don't watch that shit.
Why not? Too scared?
No, it's just what's the point? They're all the same. Some stupid killer stalking some big-breasted girl who can't act, who's always running up the stairs when she should be going out the front door. It's insulting.
Hello and welcome
to Kim and
Kim and
Kat.
Kat.
Stay alive, maybe. Guys, we're a horror movie comedy podcast.
We're going to tell you the entirety of a movie, spoilers and all. Or I don't know what we're telling you.
Yeah, Kim doesn't know
telling me
shit.
something.
Kim doesn't know shit. So hi Miguel. Hi everybody. Well, before we get into what we're doing, and I'm the master of ceremonies tonight, Kim has no idea what's happening today.
I don't.
So first thing I want to do is thank a couple people. First person on the list, speak of the devil, is Miguel. Because he helped me find this particular project that I will be telling you. Came to the rescue, as always. He's the best. I also want to thank John Condon, who is our knight in shining technology.
Yes.
He's
from
the Dread.
Dread. The Dread
also-
Podcast Network.
Yes.
Thank you.
Also from the Dread Podcast Network, Mary Beth and Josh Corngut and the whole crew over at the Dread Podcast Network. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
but not least, the man who wears 1,000 hats, the most difficult one of all being my husband, Eric Lane Porter Martin. Thank you.
Woo.
Thank you. He makes things work and he keeps me sane. Two very important things.
One harder than the other.
One harder than the other. I can't even keep myself sane. Hi, how are you, Miss Burns? Thank you as well. Thank you for being you and thank you for being my best friend.
You're welcome.
Anything you'd like to say back or?
No, I'm just really, really happy to be there for you.
Okay. Well, anyway, moving right along. So guys, for those of you that are new to us, we have a weekly horror comedy podcast, Kim and Kat Stay Alive, maybe. Normally, it's one of us telling the other about a horror movie that the other one hasn't seen, walking them through step by step, play by play, kill by kill, stopping at certain points to say, what would you do to stay alive? And what do you think the character does to stay alive? Our episodes...
We give points, they're meaningless.
Yeah.
Some of us stay alive more than others.
And some of us fight for those meaningless points in ways that baffles the other, and I'm not going to say which is which.
You'll never know.
Yeah. But today, I'm going to be telling Ms. Kimberly Aaron Marie Maleficent Jesus Burns Esquire about a little TV show.
She went with my full birth name.
I did. Full birth name. A little TV show called Freddy's Nightmares.
Oh, fun. Freddy's Nightmares.
Yeah.
Freddy's Nightmares. So this is the show. Okay. This is the Nightmare on Elm Street show.
Yes, it is the
TV
Nightmare
show.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
what's fun?
Fun.
What's fun and strange about this is that of the 44 episodes of this show, 8 of them have Freddy in them. Now, I don't
Okay.
do math, but that seems low to
Low.
me.
Yeah.
Like, it feels like if I got 8 out of 44 in our game of staying
You'd
alive,
be dead.
I'd be dead.
Yeah.
But, you know,
You'd
maybe
be on
they-
life support for sure.
Maybe this show, I'm obsessed with Eric after today's episode. Now I need an Eric husband. Oh my God, you guys, Eric husbands are legit. I don't know if they're sold out though. So we'd have to look into that. I'll send you a link to the Eric to the Eric Husband website. They're great. So we're doing an episode, season 1, episode 4. It is called Freddy's Tricks and Treats. Now, don't be fooled. Remember, 8 out of 44. So we don't know if Freddy's going to be in this one. And you're not going to know until he shows up or doesn't. So this one is directed.
Yeah, I don't know who's running the chat.
Oh, no. Interesting. It's as if an Eric is running the chat. How interesting.
Are we starting a dating?
Oh my God. Also, you guys, I can't say from personal experience, but Mackenzie Parker husbands are also dope.
I think he would take care of business for you.
Girl, you don't even know. Mackenzie Parker husbands? Wow. Free husband too. Good.
I would like a husband. I'm joining our dating app. Whatever. I'm joining the dating app that we're apparently starting. I need
this
one.
Is great. This is great. Wow. Okay. We
signing myself up.
Started out as a horror movie comedy podcast, and now we're a dating site. So this is great because you know me, you know what a busybody I am, Kim. I'm excited. I'm going to be the one who just like runs. I'm just going to be the puppet master and just set people up all over the place.
Look,
oh my God, that's my dream.
Join our Facebook group. We'll start there.
Oh yeah, our Facebook group is Sammy's Stay Alive Baby on Facebook. Also, our social media, if you don't know who we are, at KKSam Podcast on all the things. We do lots of things. We have a Patreon too. Oh wait, Ketron's hair game is fire. Why, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I just took Eric's job. I'm so sorry. I just got really excited about the compliment, and Eric didn't post that. I did. Okay. So here we go.
Should we start with a Gina Holes Out?
Yes, we should. Gina Holes Out.
Just chugged a coffee, so mine's an empty skull.
Is it because you feel like an empty skull right now?
I do. I don't have a husband to keep me sane.
Oh, yeah. Well, Gina Holes Out.
Tits up. Cheers.
Woo! I made this drink sight unseen by anything that I have on my bar cart that says blood orange, because that's Eric's favorite flavor. And I also thought it was, bloody and orange and Halloween and Freddy. But that was a pretty generous pour on my part. So here we go.
Writer, director?
Yep.
We never got to it.
I'm getting to it right now, my bitch. So directed by Ken Wiederhorn or Wiederhorn. Let us know. He is the director of the cult horror classic Shockwaves, among other things.
I like that.
It was written by A.L. Katz and Gil Adler. This particular duo also wrote Tales from the Crypt, Bordello of Blood. And fun fact, we missed this episode by one because I wanted to do, obviously like a Halloween episode. So this is episode 4, but episode 3 of this series, Pardon the Sirens, we're live. You're going to get some of that. Episode 3 was directed by Dread Podcast Network's very own Mick Garris.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So the next live show we do, maybe we'll do Mick's episode of this show. All right, let's do this. Oh, we have Uncle Ron Prefers Demon Knight. Fun fact, we have an episode on that one. Kim and I also love that one. More specifically, Billy Zane. So here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's stay alive. Probably not.
Honestly, I think you're going to do well. I'll tell you why in a moment. So,
Jinx me.
That's what I was doing specifically because you didn't thank me for being alive. I was specifically jinxing you. I am a witch, and I just put a jinx on you.
She's really gonna take these points.
Yeah,
strictly now.
I'm gonna be a real stickler about it. Marsha
is alive.
Gary
is alive.
Zach
is dead.
and Mark.
Mark's alive.
Okay.
Ah,
Here we
glad
go.
you came too, Uncle Ron.
Oh my gosh, hi. All right, so couple
was
things.
gross.
What did I do? What came out of me?
Oh my gosh, hey.
Ew, that was gross. Don't do. Why would you do that, Kim? That's really gross.
You're gross.
Okay, so a couple things. Again, for those of you that don't know, normally it's keeping our corporeal selves alive, our bodies, but every so often, we need to keep other things alive. So I'm going to say that there are some questions where it's about keeping your soul alive.
Okay.
But I'll try and let you know if we're, what we're doing here as we go along. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just let you figure it out yourself. Maybe I won't give you any help at all whatsoever. All right.
I don't need
so,
it, bitch.
Watch out. Okay, here we go. Woo! We open on a sorority. Really one of those beautiful like house sororities that we didn't have where we went to school.
Yes.
It's the KAT sorority. That's the one I would have joined, sight unseen, because it spells cat.
Cat. Yeah.
Wouldn't even care who was in it. And we get a close up on an anatomy book and someone's studying it in glasses. And then we see it is none other than Mariska Hargitay herself.
Mariska!
Yeah!
Our girl!
Mariska!
Yes, queen!
Mariska goddamn Hargitay. So, her character.
Wait, what
name-
year is this?
Kim, why must
I genuinely want to know.
questions that you
Miguel.
know Miguel, what fucking
Miguel,
year is
what
it?
era is it?
Please tell me. It's pre
I'm
SVU.
genuinely interested.
It's pre SVU. She looks like a little baby person. 1988.
1988.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That helps the visual as well.
Yeah.
Great, great,
So here we go. She looks so cute.
Thank you, everyone.
I let everyone knew it. Literally, we have 100 people. 1988. Okay. So she's upstairs, but there is a party happening downstairs because it is Halloween. And she is looking for headphones to keep the noise out. And instead she finds a pumpkin mask, which I am curious about this. Remember Halloween 3 that had nothing to do with Michael Myers?
Yeah.
And there were 3 masks in it?
Yeah.
Okay, one of them was a pumpkin mask.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if there is some homage to that movie, because this pumpkin mask looked very similar to the pumpkin mask that I did not see with my own eyeballs that you described to me. But I'm wondering, because, horror people like to do that kind of shit. So I'm wondering if it's an homage, if anyone knows, if it's the same pumpkin mask. But she's like looking for headphones, finds a pumpkin mask, puts it on the table. Then someone with a Jason mask comes up to her window, which is on the 2nd floor, mind you, and climbs very loudly, not stealthily, into her bedroom window.
Okay.
Okay. Now, I'm assuming it's a Jason mask. It could have also just been a hockey mask. I'm not sure, but
I mean, it's interesting to be a Jason mask and a Halloween mask in Freddy's Nightmares.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Also, like, cut to me going to a hockey game and being like, the hockey player's wearing a Jason mask. So he climbs in, but Mariska doesn't appear to hear him. But then she turns sight unseen and is like, Mark, I'm studying. And he's like, how did you know it was me?
Mark.
You're literally Sam from Clarissa Explains It All. You are not. Who gets that reference? No one? Cool. Moving on. When Sam would climb it, forget it. So
I just don't get the joke. You get the reference?
Sam would climb in her window all the time, but he was really good at it, unlike Mark, who is not.
Oh, okay.
Moving on. Okay. Join my Patreon for my Clarissa Explains It All podcast that I have by myself that no one listens to. So he's like, does my stalker technique need work? And I was like, well, I don't know if that's the skill you should be boning up on, but
Yeah.
each his own.
Right.
he's like, you're not afraid of anything. And she's like, I'm afraid I'm not going to pass this anatomy test, motherfucker. Like, that is what I'm afraid of. And he's like, you just need some R&R. You need to go to a party, which is downstairs. And then she says, you guys really get into this whole Halloween thing. And he's like, what, you don't? And he's like, it's not, I'm from Detroit. And I was like,
do they not do Halloween in Detroit?
Anyone from Detroit in the chat? Do you guys not do
Detroit,
Halloween?
what's up?
What is going on? So I guess that's what she says. So she's like, I don't want to blow my average with a C. And he's like, I'd be happy just to pass. So this is Mark. You see Mark, right? Yeah, and she's like, but it would.
You can do better, Mariska.
Honestly. Oh my God. The title of this episode is literally going to be Mariska, you can do better, girl. Spoiler alert, she can do better. So she's like, it wouldn't be good enough for grandma. Okay, so I guess she's got grandma issues. Okay. So question 1, Miss Studious Kim Burns.
Yeah.
I would like you to tell me, are you going to keep studying for your anatomy test? Or are you going to go down to the Halloween party downstairs?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
I was really good at partying and getting straight A's at school.
She was, you guys. She passed a test or two fully intoxicated. It was impressive.
I had to leave to barf sometimes in the middle of it. Test.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go party and assume that I'm still gonna get a great grade for grandma. Whoa, great grade for grandma.
Great grade for grandma.
Fuck you, Sophia.
Guys, this is our friend
Guys,
Sophia.
one time I threw up in Sophia's drawer in college 100 years ago, and no one lets it down. Why am I so red?
I don't feel like it was one time. I feel like it was lots of times. No? Sophia, weigh in. How many times was it?
The throw up in many places was many times, but in a drawer was once.
Guys, Kim knew how to throw down is all I'm saying. So, all right, so you're going to throw down and still get a good grade. What's Mariska going to do?
I think she's going to study. They do Devil's Night the night before Halloween in Detroit, which is violent with lots of fires.
Jeez. But then they don't do the fun part?
They don't do the day of?
Weird. Oh, we have some questions about the drawer, guys.
Was Mariska studying for her sergeant's? Was Mariska studying for her sergeant's exam in SVU? I hope so. This is actually the origin story of Mariska Hargitay's SVU character.
You don't know how true that is. I'm excited for you to know how true that is. So we have some questions here. Was the drawer open, or did you open the drawer to throw up? Now I'm curious.
I opened the drawer. Was a trash can not accessible? Look, I'll tell you the story. You asshole.
It's going to be a long night.
I was very drunk. It was college. I was in part of the cat fraternity, whatever the fuck it's called. And I was taking a little nap on Sophia's bed in her bedroom. Like, the party was going on and I was like, I'm asleep. And I had to vomit. And so I got up, but it was pitch black. It was dark. Like, I was like asleep in her room.
Sure.
But I went to go to the bathroom, which is like in the hallway. It was a party still. So it was unavailable.
Right.
And then I think I stumbled back in very drunk, mind you. There was just I was making clear decisions. I was just jacking like I was just making clear decisions. And it was dark, and then I couldn't see. I remember the drawer was in a search for a trash can. Like, I was like feeling around in the dark for a trash can or something I could use, and then somehow the drawer came to be in not really anyone's defense, but it was like the almost empty drawer that you kind of just have random things in.
It's the barf drawer.
So yeah, so I didn't like ruin I don't think. Like her sweaters or something like that. You know what I mean? And it wasn't like a full barf. It was just like a spittle.
Spittle. Okay. Sophia's saying I can only claim to one drawer, but there was also someone's couch and her own hand. That is true. That's true.
Well, Sophia's going to have to come on and tell those stories because I don't remember.
Yeah. Any receptacle's a good receptacle.
Thank
you heard it
you.
here. Okay.
I did shut the drawer, though, and go back to sleep. So it was a later times. Wasn't until bright and early the next day that Sophia actually figured it out.
Listen, it's only
Surprise!
fair. It's only fair that I say that we've all done dumb things when we were drunk.
Oh yeah, her own pants. That one I remember.
Yeah, you did barf in your own pants. I recall that one. Yeah, I did in fact I was not able to find a bathroom either to pee, and so I lay in somebody's roommate's bed who was out of town for the next month and peed in their bed. So we've all been there, and it's not our finest moments, but it makes for good stories that we're telling in public. Okay.
Miguel said, I once saw a woman vomit into a glass bottle without spilling a drop. I mean, champion.
That should
ding,
be,
ding, double ding for her.
Yeah, that should be like some sort of strange sport. We had PE after lunch one day, and a guy in my class threw up and tried to catch it. It was our first day of high school.
No.
Oh, God. Did
Was
he transfer?
he just called like Barf Boy for the rest of time?
No, he transferred after that.
That's
I
a
hope.
bummer.
Okay, we have to get back to Mariska here, or we're never gonna
We
get
can
through
tell
this.
barf stories all night, you guys.
All night.
Join us for our next podcast.
Yeah,
Vomit.
barf stories. Yeah. Okay, so she is pissed, and she's like, not only am I not going to the fucking party, I'm leaving the house. I'm leaving the sorority house. I'm gonna go somewhere quiet on campus.
Oh, she's serious.
Yeah, but
She's got to be a fucking detective one day.
Yeah. So, but she does have to go downstairs and through the party to leave. So as she's leaving, she's stopped by a British soldier named, She turns and she's like, Mark, I told you. But she's turned around. It's not Mark. It's someone named Gary. Gary is dressed as a British soldier. He also tells her, why aren't you partying? It's time for Halloween. Get on your costume. And she's like, I'm going to study. And Gary says, the library is closed. And she said, but the morgue isn't.
The morgue? What?
You know.
The morgue?
She's going to the campus morgue to study on Halloween night.
That's commitment to your detective degree.
It is real commitment. I mean, she had work to do. So she is blah, blah, blah. People are still trying to get her to go. And she keeps apologizing a bunch, which bummed me out. Like where she just like is apologizing for existing. And it made me a little sad. So I hope that she gets some self-esteem. So he's like, I admire your dedication, and kind of like lets her go. But he's like, let's stop at the snack table, basically. So they stop at a snack table, and there's some fucking douchebag named Zach. And apologies to all the Zachs in the chat, but he's a real douche. And he's mansplaining about some study that he's doing about how he wants to intercept brain waves and decode them and replicate them on a videotape so that we can watch other people's dreams. So like real solid, truthful science in this. This is all, but
relates to Freddie.
it does relate. Funny how that worked out. So, Gary says something about him being a party killer because like he's talking some girl's ear off, and she's just like, I have to go find my friends. Bye.
Yeah. It's
And
like
Gary's-
when Ross from Friends would just be like, and
Yeah.
if we do this, then we'll like live forever as
Right.
a robot in our brains or
Yes,
something.
pretty much. Yeah. So he then kind of pivots, douchebag Zach pivots and starts talking to Gary and Mariska about, I'm so close in my whatever. I just need some more funding from the funding people, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, you get paid enough money. He's like, I couldn't even get an x-ray set up in my thing or whatever. And
So
then,
wait, Zach is the dream guy?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Gary is nice. Gary, I have no issues with Gary.
Okay.
Gary's fine. Zach's a douche. Mark's annoying. Gary's fine. Mark's a douche. No, Mark's annoying. Ah! Sorry. Zach's
Someone
a
write it
douche.
down.
Mark's annoying. Okay, so he's like, yeah, but I wish you could get an x-ray machine in there. And Zach then says the following. I admit, I like watching people. Women. Naked women. Stripped bare. Naked. A woman can't hide anything. She can't keep anything secret. She can't even lie. Her body gives her away every time. Given the proper stimuli, she has absolutely no control. And Mariska goes, excuse me, bye.
Sir.
Excuse me, bye.
Sir.
Excuse me, bye. Goodbye.
Boy, bye.
Goodbye. And actually that was a question, but I already know that you would have said excuse me, boy, bye. So I'll just give you the points.
Mine would have been more aggressive, though.
Do tell. What would it
Way
what would
more
have
than
been?
excuse me, bye. Would have
Yeah.
been like, I don't know, punch in the face, bye.
Punch in the face, bye. I like that. I always go for punch in the throat. I don't know why. That's
Ooh,
my
I'll do my favorite.
Oh,
Break a bottle and stab.
stab.
Goodbye.
that's Kim's
Got
favorite.
real aggressive.
That's Kim's favorite. God, I just wish that's so hard for you one day, Kim. That you get the
One day.
opportunity to do that. So I just gave you 2 bonus points because I love you.
Thank you.
So cut her going into an empty building hallway. Ernie is the guard in front of the morgue. And punching in the throat takes some good aim. And let me tell you, I have it. I've got the aim. I've got the aim.
Now I'm just picturing you trying to punch someone in the throat, but like missing.
Husband, this is the part where you can chime in and tell everyone what great aim I have, but you're
Why have
noticeably
you punched
silent
him in
now.
the throat before?
No. But
What's
yes.
happening?
Oh, we can't hear you.
Can't hear you. You're muted.
No, but she's a really good boxer. That's true. She
Thank you.
Oh,
trains,
that's
and
true.
she
We do
can-
box.
She can throw a punch.
Thank
and
you.
She doesn't ever miss the little target mitts. So
Thank
there
you,
you are.
honey. You're dismissed. Okay. So so Ernie is startled because why is there a teenager in here to go to the morgue on Halloween night? He makes a joke about it being Halloween. He also tells her that she should be partying instead of studying dead people. And she again says, you guys take this really seriously. And this is where he says, our town specifically takes this really seriously because we're haunted by
Freddy
Freddy
Krueger.
And so he kind of gives her
I was like mid swallow. I know. I was like, Freddy.
I really wish you would just spit it out just at the screen or into a drawer, possibly.
Fuck you all. Fuck all of you.
So he gives So he gives her like the backstory of Freddy that we all know. And Mariska's just like, blah, 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 ghosts don't scare me. Let me into the dead people room. And so he lets her into the locked cadaver house. I don't think that's the real term, but so now we cut to her dissecting. And she,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Dr. Mariska.
Dr. Mariska Hargitay, and she pulls the sheet back, and it's like an old man, and she says, not my first cadaver, but don't worry, it doesn't mean you're not special. But, chip. That's what we call it, but, so now we see she's slicey and dicing, and we see the shadow of a Freddy glove on his body while she's turned away. And then she looks back and she sees something and she's scared. So she's like, Ernie? So she goes outside, calls for Ernie. And we see that the thing she saw that she was scared of was Boo scratched into the cadaver's forehead. So she sees it. She's like, ah! And then she's like, Ernie! And she doesn't yell like that.
So she like turned away and looked back, and Boo was written on the forehead. Ah! That's scary. That's so scary.
Like, it's already a dead body.
I know. I'm already scared just
Yeah.
hanging out with
Yeah,
Ernie. Or
yeah.
I don't know this guy's name.
Oh, what is his name?
Ben.
Homer. He looked like a
Homer, Benjamin,
Beelzebub.
Willard, Bub.
I love it. Okay, so Ernie comes in. Boo is gone. So now she just looks crazy.
Now she looks like an hysterical, crazy girl.
She looks nuts. So he comes in, he's like, look, honey, anyone can see that you're a bit fried, okay? And he's like, if you shut up in here with dead folks, I'd start seeing things too. And he's like, why don't you knock off for the night? So question 3, why don't you knock off for the night?
Yes.
Mariska and Kim.
I'm in. I've got drinks and drawers to vomit in.
And still get A's on my test. Okay, so you're going to knock off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, hi, Ernie.
Ernie's my dog's name, so he's loving this
Ernie,
episode.
we love you.
What's Mariska do?
What does Mariska do? I mean, she was freaked out, and that's pretty scary.
It's pretty scary.
I think she keeps on keeping on. I think she stays.
She keeps on keeping on.
Mariska!
She keeps on keeping on.
No.
So Ernie is like, so she's like, nope, I'm staying. And Ernie is like, I'll stick around.
Dedicated.
She really is. And he's like, I'll stick around and keep you company. But then as soon as she starts slicing and dicing, Ernie's like, never mind, I can't handle it, and leaves. So now what is she doing? Takes off coat and goes to, okay, she's going to take a break. Okay, so she's been slicing and dicing. Some time has passed. Ernie's scared. She's still in there. She takes off her lab coat and she starts washing her hands. We then see a flashback to her as a little baby Mariska being forced to wash her hands by a very mean grandma. Oh. So she's got real grandma problems. Oh, looks like we've been a little bit hacked in our chat. Guys,
the dating app is really working now.
Working.
We've
Give
got
me
free
girl.
girls in your city.
Hey.
Sex Chat 69.
Wow. Okay. That's exciting. That's our first like sex bot in the chat that we've ever gotten.
Very exciting.
Wow, mark it on the calendar. So
they heard our vomit stories and came running. They were like, hey, sexy, yeah.
This is where the sexy time is. So mean grandma is like, this'll teach you to touch filthy boys. I'll scrub you clean.
To touch filthy boys? What?
She's not allowed to touch boys.
Oh, that's so many layers of trauma.
Right? So we haven't even gotten there yet. So cut back to her in the frickin' morgue again, and she's like kind of in a stupor. Sorry. Makes me wonder where U City is. U City is wherever you want it to be.
Free girls in U City is what the sex bot is telling us. So
yeah, U City is wherever
Where's
you are.
Sorry.
So
Go on.
She snaps back, and we see now that she's been like rubbing her hands raw.
Oh no.
Like they're all fucking bloody. And then all of a sudden the corpse sits up and takes the sheet off, and it's Grandma.
No.
But with a Freddy voice saying, "You're not clean yet." And Granny's got a Freddy glove on, and Grandma Freddy says, "Come to Granny." And she's like, "Ah!" and backs into Mark, who's there again,
Mark?
being annoying.
Where did
so
you come
annoying.
from?
So she's upset, and he says, "You're working too hard." Oh, I'm being haunted. I'm being haunted. Grandma Freddy! He's like, "You're working too hard."
So she like backed like out of the room, and he was like in the hallway or something?
No, he was like in the room.
So could he, what did he see?
He just saw her standing there scrubbing her hands. Yeah.
Right.
So,
because it was like a dream state sort of thing, maybe?
yeah.
Okay.
So she looks down at her hands that are no longer bloody anymore. So we realize like the bloodiness of her hands was a dream.
Oh, so, okay.
But they're red. They're raw. She has, but yeah. So he tells her that she has to let up. And Mariska says she never let up, referring to Grandma. And
Mariska.
Mark, I know, God.
Let's go to therapy, my friend.
Honestly.
Let's not go to the party, and we'll go to therapy instead.
Go to therapy instead. Halloween therapy. So Mark says she never let you live. And he's like, "You can't keep living under your grandma's shadow." Wisdom from annoying Mark. Thank you so much. And he's like, "You have to eat and sleep and touch." And I was like, "Oh, we're back to annoying." Okay. So he goes to kiss her, and she apologizes and says, "I'm sorry, I can't." Yeah. She's breaking my heart left and right. So then he asks all of a sudden he's like, "Did you hear that?" And he like runs out of the room. And she's like, "I didn't hear anything." So he leaves and tells her, "Wait here." Question 4, what do you do? What does Mariska do?
I am not waiting. Fuck you,
Okay.
Mark. Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm coming right behind you.
Got it.
To
go where?
Well, I didn't hear anything.
You didn't hear anything.
So, I mean, I think he's going to investigate, but I'm going to be like right behind him.
Okay. Got it. Okay.
Or he's doing some dumb, annoying Mark thing. So I'm also just going to be like, no.
Fair.
Okay, he says, "Wait here."
Mm-hmm.
I think she waits. There? Question mark.
That's 1.5 points. So the reason I said, "Where do you go?" is it would have been better if you had said, "Cool, you heard something. I am going to leave and I'm going to go away out and go to a party and get out of here."
Okay.
So she waits there, and then she looks at herself in the mirror, and she's wearing the pumpkin mask that may or may not be from Halloween 3. And she's like, "What?" So she's wearing the pumpkin mask, and she starts scratching at her own face, and her face is the pumpkin mask. So she's making herself bleed as she tries to scratch it off.
Oh, gosh.
So she runs out into the hallway, and she's like holding her face, and then she comes out, and the mask is gone. She looks at her reflection, no mask, no scratches, and she starts crying.
Oh, man.
And then we hear, "Mariska, you hurt my feelings." It's Marcia, but I've been calling her Mariska the whole time. So he actually says Marcia. "You hurt my feelings." And she starts calling for Mark and walking towards the voice and looking in different rooms for where Mark went. And then she sees someone sitting in a chair with a trench coat and a very scary fedora and spins it around, and it's a skeleton in a Freddy costume, and she jumps. And Mark is behind her again, God damn it. Mark is just, God, I cannot get rid of this guy. So she jumps, Mark is behind her, and he's like, let's get into the spirit of things. And he goes to move the skeleton, and the skeleton hand stabs him through the eyeballs. And now it's all lit up like Freddy red light special in there. And Freddy with his sweater on says, jump my bones, baby.
Freddy, I forgot your jokes, Freddy.
Your jokes, Freddy.
So wait,
commercial
does a
break.
skeleton hand stab him or a Freddy hand?
A skeleton hand.
Interesting.
Freddy's getting creative.
Interesting. And so Mark is dead?
It's a commercial break. We'll have to find out after the commercial.
Okay. What happens
So-
in the commercials?
Nothing. I just tell you it's a commercial. And wait and buy some time before I get to the next part of the story. So I thought about being like trying to come up with like commercials to play, and then I was like, I can't. On so many levels, I can't. On a laziness level, on a technology level. But here we go. So back from commercial. Everyone come back. Cut to her waking up on her anatomy book, which is on the cadaver. So she fell asleep. She fell asleep on the head down,
On
standing
Homer?
up on Homer on her cadaver book, or no, her anatomy book on the cadaver. And so she's like, oh, so she leaves the room this time. So all of that was a dream. So Mark getting stabbed in the eyeball, everything, all of that was a dream. Okay. She's really losing it. Okay. So she finally leaves the room, looks for Ernie, who isn't there because he got scared. He's a terrible guard. Literally the worst guard I've ever seen. All commercial breaks will be sponsored by the KKCM dating app. Great.
We just didn't know that existed
Yeah.
for the show.
Taking place in U City.
Sex Chat 69.
Hey,
Dot
so
KKK Sam. No.
why?
Why? Take that back, please. Someone cut that out, please. That was a weird start.
That was so that in 4 years, that has never ever happened in 4 years. That's well,
I don't associate with that at all. I don't know how else to say it. Oh, gosh, I want to go back and throw up in a drawer again.
don't throw up in a drawer. Everyone knows we're just 2Ks. We're just the 2Ks. So cut to them. Okay. Cut to them. What is she doing? Oh, so she leaves to be like, where the fuck is Ernie? And then she turns around and it's Mark again.
Mark!
Now this time he's in a trench coat and a fedora and has a bag of candy and says trick or treat. To which I say, Mark, you're like 20. Were you like trick or treating around? Were you like going to people's houses and getting candy as a 20-year-old in a trench coat and fedora? I think you were. So she's like, Mark, you have to stop doing this. You're so annoying. And she's like, you know what? I give up. I'm not going to do well tomorrow anyway. I give up. And he's like, we both know what your problem is. It's a lack of fun. And he's like, of course you're seeing things because you're not having any fun. And I was like, I'm not sure that science checks out either, but here we are. And he then says, what are you confused about, my love?
I was just thinking about that statement. You're not seeing things because you're not having any fun. I don't agree either. I was just weighing it down in my brain.
1 ding, 2 dings instead of swipe left, swipe right. Sounds like a great idea. I love that for the dating app. That's great.
She slept on a cadaver. How is she not having fun?
Yeah, Homer was having fun. That's for sure.
he was.
So, cut to them. Okay, so he also brought her pumpkin mask with her, and he leads her away to have some fun. Cut to them walking up to a house that is not a sorority house. This is like a house that like families live in. And she's like, what are we doing here? And we realize it's her grandma's house.
What?
It's her grandma's house. That's where he's taking her to have fun on Halloween night. And he says, it's about time you start looking over your shoulder and see what's chasing you. So Kim's looking over her shoulder to see. So Mark looks in the window and she like follows tentatively to look in the window. She looks in and he says, you have to face it. We now see that she is looking at two people making out on the couch. The two people are herself and Mark making out on her grandma's couch.
Okay.
So
it's like a flash. She's looking at like a flashback time.
Yes.
Time in history.
Yes.
Maybe.
And she stops, make out Mariska in the house stops and says, I can't. What about my grandma? And make out Mark says she won't be home for hours. So Mariska apologizes again. God, this poor baby. And keeps kissing him. And then Grandma comes in. And they jump off of each other. And Grandma says, you filthy whore. We're never going to get you clean. And Mark, this piece of shit, cowardly little motherfucker, fucking make out Mark, just goes, oh, excuse me, and like slips by Grandma and out the fucking door.
Why are we still hanging out with Mark?
Why are we still hanging out with Mark? Mark is trash. Mark is trash. So, Mariska stands up for herself. She's like, I wasn't doing anything wrong, Grandma. And Grandma then takes her belt off and says, I never got to be a grandma because your jerk parents died.
What?
I'm sorry? One of those parents was your child, you psycho. And she's like, so now I have to discipline you.
Wow.
We've never seen granny issues like this ever.
Everyone needs therapy.
So much therapy. So she's like, Mariska stands up for herself and like kind of holds her grandma's like arms from hitting her, and she says, you're the unclean one. I hate you. I wish you were dead. And Grandma tries to beat Mariska, but Mariska holds her off. And then Grandma has a heart attack and dies.
No! Oh, no.
Yeah, there is a lot.
No.
Weeping Scarecrow says there's a lot to unpack here, but let's just burn the whole suitcase.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Guys, we're switching our dating app to a therapy app.
It's a therapy. No, here's what it is.
Mariska needs it.
It's a therapy and dating app, and you have to get a signed permission slip from the therapist before you can start dating.
Great.
Yeah, wow. We're really figuring it out, guys.
I think people in LA would love that.
Yeah, call Silicon Valley. We got an app.
Called
So-
sexandthecity.com ucity69. Whoever the fuck they are.
Yeah, I think that was it. That was verbatim. Yeah, that was it. So, so she's like, oh no, so she's dying. And Mariska just keeps saying, I'm sorry, don't die.
This is sad.
Yeah.
I'm sad for Mariska. This is
It's
a lot.
It's a lot.
I see what's happening now in college Mariska. It makes sense.
Yeah. So now we cut to outside.
killed a grandma.
Yeah. So now we cut to outside Mariska, and she's screaming, banging on the window, saying, get up, Grandma, get up, Grandma. Okay. Question 5. What do you outside Mariska do? And what does regular Kim do?
I don't know. Why am I here?
So here's what I'll tell
Okay.
you. This is where we're talking about souls.
Keeping our soul alive.
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea what this bitch does. I I'm going to be like, this was a tough time in my life. I'm going to go home.
And sign up for the KK Sam therapy
and
dating app.
Sign up for the KK Sam therapy dating app.
Got it.
And go to the party.
Got it. Okay. And what does outside Mariska do?
Oh, fuck. What does this bitch do? I'm open to suggestions from the audience.
That is cheating. That is straight up cheating.
Is it?
I think.
It's the benefit of a live show.
That's true.
I've got more
Fair.
brains, except that it's a delay. But, okay. So was just screaming at the window? Mm-hmm. Buddy.
It's not looking
Is
good.
Mark still with her?
We only see Mariska through the window. So I can't say either way.
Okay. She's screaming at the window, I'm sorry?
Yeah. Don't die. I'm sorry, don't die.
Maybe she runs inside the house? Question mark?
Have faith. That's what you
Up.
John?
Ran inside the house.
John? John?
Shocked.
Yeah, she runs inside the house and says, I can help you now. I know what to do. And she lays on her grandma and like starts trying to give her CPR. And then grandma's hand touches her head.
Ma'am.
And grandma wakes up. And
Grandma's been dead a long time. You cannot CPR her skeletal body.
so grandma wakes up now and says, don't cry for me, you whore. And I was like, oh God, grandma. So then she scratches at her grandma's face and it's Freddie's skin underneath because we're in another dream. When are we awake? When are we asleep? I don't know. So she takes off the grandma
Have we
mask.
ever woken up? I don't understand. We went from like sleeping on Homer.
I
to
think she's
Peter.
got, honestly, like she's got like narcolepsy or something. Because like we have moments because remember she woke up on Homer, right? And Mark took her out, but then she ended up at her grandma's house, which apparently was a dream.
So did
or
she
was
ever
it?
wake up?
Yeah, we
Or
don't know
was the
yet.
wake up a fake?
We don't know yet. So
It was a fake up. Dreams on dreams.
Dreams on dreams on dreams. So she scratches the face off and it's Freddie under there and he says, trick or treat. How's that for a facelift? You should always respect your elders. Fucking
you.
Fucking
This
Freddie.
guy.
What a cut up. So she runs
This
out
is
of the
real,
house.
like sunglasses in the beach, Freddie.
Girl,
he's
it
having
is
a grand old time.
He really is. He is living his best life. So, it's Inception in a hat and a trench coat. You're right. It is. So she runs out of the house. And Mark is there, and she like crumples on the lawn of her grandma's house. She's actually at her grandma's house. And Mark is there saying, she's saying to him, like, you believe me that it wasn't my fault? And he says, of course I do. And she says, you're always there for me. And he says, you don't need me anymore. You faced it. And then we see that she's alone on the lawn of her grandma's house.
Mark's not real. Mark's not real.
No, Mark's not
Mark's not real. That's why he's always annoyingly behind me.
That's why he's so annoying. So, like, clearly she was, like, traumatized by him leaving her at the moment that she needed him most. And so now he always appears the moment he's most annoying. That's how it works.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So she
Okay, wait,
starts...
so he said, you don't need me anymore because you faced it.
Yes.
Okay. And then he
Says-
disappears.
And then he disappears. But she doesn't feel like she's faced it because she's still screaming on the lawn of her grandma's house. Before he runs off, he hands her the pumpkin mask. And she's like, Mark, I don't want to be alone. And she turns and Freddie is there with a rose and says,
Do you accept this rose?
"Do you accept this rose? Freddie's the next bachelor." And says,
Can we make that show? That would be so fun.
"Freddie as the next bachelor."
Really,
That's-
it needs to be a bachelorette, and then you're dating all of the
The
mostly just 'cause there's
killers.
mostly
Yeah, that's great. The
and
Fredgler.
The Fredgler.
You know what?
We'll
Let's top that.
workshop
We'll
that.
workshop that. We'll workshop that. But yeah, we could have Michael, Jason, Freddie, Hellraiser. Who else do we want to?
Fucking everybody.
Alien, Billy Zane,
Who's the main dater?
me, you,
Me.
you. That's it.
And then
I already know you're gonna pick Billy Zane though.
the nun. She can be there.
Yeah. Okay, so
Yeah, it's not really a fair game if we're gonna have.
Burp Snap is a child. Burp
That's
Snap
true,
is
gross.
a child, you creep. Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. Sexualizing Burp Snap, you monster.
Chucky.
Ch-
Does Chucky count?
Chucky
feels
he's
adult.
adult. Yeah.
He's got an adult
adult
soul, technically. So
Yeah, I'll go with it.
Chucky and his bride, they can both be in it.
Sure. So now we see that his line is Mark is such sweet sorrow. I was like,
Boo!
Freddie, we can workshop that one too. For sure. He laughs. She starts talking to the mask, telling Mark she doesn't want to be alone. And then a bunch of Halloween party people come up and they're like, "Are you all right, lady?" And she's like crouched. They're all crouched around her and she's like keening like a crazy person on the lawn. And then Gary and douchebag Zach are there. And Gary is like, "Who's Mark?" And douchebag Zach magically knows exactly what's going on and says, "Don't you get it? There is no Mark. I could build an entire career on a head case like hers." And there's like all these people around
Rude.
her. And then Douche is smiling and morphs into Freddie. And Freddie says, "Poor Marcia." And so now we're about to go into another
Everyone's
commercial break.
Freddie. Who's
No,
not Freddie?
We're about to go into another commercial break. So this was a fade out of the fourth wall because now Freddie is holding a skull and he slices it with his hand knives and says, "Crushed by love." He's running out of material.
I've gotten lost. I don't know what we're doing anymore.
Well, we can reset. This is another commercial break, okay? So, here's what we've learned. Mariska's off her rocker. Grandma's dead. Mark's an asshole that doesn't exist. Gary's fine. Zach's still a douche. Here we are, okay? So,
I
now.
love these two. The boy band redos with all the horror characters in them.
So dope.
Yes.
I love it.
The slash Lorette.
Slash Lorette. I hope Mariska's Freddy too. Don't give away the ending, Michael.
The horrors of dating, where your favorite slasher flick bachelors meet their match. Ooh.
I like it. I like it. So, all right, we're back from commercial break. Oh, I should take a drink now. All right. Cut to Mariska coming into her room. It's a different day. She seems to have composed herself. I'm sure she got a great grade on the test. She sees...
Fucking hope so.
Yeah. She appears to see Gary and douchebag Zach staring at her through her window. And she doesn't seem freaked out.
Okay.
Instead, she seems flirtatious and starts taking her clothes off.
What is happening? I've gotten lost.
That is also what I said at this point. I said,
I missed
what is
my
happening?
stop.
I'm getting lost.
The train
So-
has gone off the rails.
Yeah. So she's taking her shirt off. We pan out. We see that it wasn't them watching her through her window. They were watching her on a TV screen. Douche and Gary are watching her dreams. She's dreaming of taking her clothes off. And so we haven't seen her yet. So douchebag says 2 months ago, she was a med school dropout, too scared to sleep. Grandma was coming back from the dead, boyfriends that never existed, tormented. Look at her now. Gary asks.
Did Mark never exist?
Well, No, I think Mark existed
Okay. Back in the day.
initially. Yeah.
Like the couch scene.
Yeah.
was real. I was
so
like, whoa, that's
right?
even worse.
So, well, that would mean that Grandma walked in on her masturbating, which is way worse. Oh, God, I hope Mark was real for a moment in time. Oh, God. That's so embarrassing. So, Gary says, this is her dream. And he says, how did you get in there? And he says, hypnotherapy, plus she trusts me. I was like, oh, no. And he says, she's going to sue your ass. And Gary and douchebag says, she signed a release, unconditional. And then he says, amazing, all that repressed sexual energy bottled up all those years. And so she, right as she's about to show us her boobs, her dream boobs, the image goes staticky. And douchebag Zach says, that's all we're going to get. And we realize it's not a glitch in the computer, it's her. Like there's something that's blocking her from going too deep into her dreams because she's scared of what might be in there. Okay. So we now see she's laying in bed hooked up to all these electrodes. And Gary is like, you can't just reprogram her brain. And he's like, I'm just looking to enhance her dreams, but she's holding back. So in her dreams, she puts her shirt down and appears to be aware of being watched, and the door starts to bang. She stirs in her bed, in her sleep. And in the dream, we see that Freddy is at the window, banging on the glass and being like, I love screamers, and she's stirring in the bed. Gary, Freddy's coming on a fire engine. Stirring in bed, Gary sees and says, look, you got what you wanted. We see him go in and wake her up, and douche is like, she's fine. So basically what happens is they're watching her dreams, okay? And they want her to go deeper, but every time Freddy appears, she like starts to freak out and they can't get the images anymore. But she's under the impression that they're trying to help her, be able to sleep and face her fears. But really, douchebag Zach is just trying to get some titty shots. So cut to douchebag Zach and Mariska walking through campus now. And she's like, I don't want to do this anymore. And she says, my nightmares haven't stopped. And Zach is like, we've made progress. And he's like, you're finally getting in touch with yourself. And he's like, it's going to get worse before it gets better. And I'm like, Zach, aren't you a student, by the way?
Like, what are you doing?
Like, under what
How
jurisdiction?
Are you watching people's streams on a TV screen?
What school is this? Who are you? What are your credentials? Who authorized this? So he's like,
I didn't know you just put a couple electrodes on your head and hook it up to a TV, and
yeah, that's all you got to do.
Watch my dreams.
A VCR, no less. we got rid of that technology too quick. So he's like, all I want is to make you feel better, and he's like, but I don't want to force you. And she's like, oh, so now you're giving up? And he's like, I feel like there's something in there waiting for me. I'm so scared. And Zach says, so let's find it together. Question 6. You're Mariska. You're on the fence. Do you agree or do you not?
I don't know. I kind of think I need help, even if it's douchebag McGee.
Okay.
I'm a little scared of my dreams.
Okay.
So I think we keep going hand in hand.
Point for Mariska. I agree that you need help. Zach is not your dude. You need help from a professional, not a fellow student.
Fair.
Not someone that you met at the snack table of a Halloween frat party. That's not who should be helping you with your deep-seated emotional trauma. Spoiler alert, not Zach.
I forgot about our therapy app already. Yeah. I should have gone there.
I know. That's why I need the app. So Cutter being all hooked up again. And Gary is like still there. Why the fuck is Gary there? I'm like, what are you? Why are you here? Like, what are you doing?
This buddy.
He's nothing other than like the Jiminy Cricket to Zach's douchebag. But he's like, Zach is like, she's not a lab rat. She's not going in blind. I explained it to her yesterday. We're about to have a breakthrough. And Gary, the voice of obnoxious reasoning, says there's a line and I feel like we're about to cross it. And douchebag Zach says, we already crossed it and we should keep crossing it. And Gary says, what happens when we go too far? And douchebag Zach says, what happens is you find an answer for a question no one's even asked yet. Bum, bum, bum. Cut to static on the TV. And then, that's not what static sounds like. And then her waking up, but not really waking up, because now we see that Freddy is like trying to lasso her with the cords of a TV that are also his arm. You know, Freddy gets crazy in there. Freddy gets crazy.
Lasso her with the cords of the TV that's also his arm.
Yeah, you heard me.
Is that like the hot dog finger ladies from
A little
Everything
bit.
Everywhere All at Once?
Yes, exactly. So he's like grabbing her head with his TV cord hand arms, and she starts stirring in her bed, and Douche and Gary are watching her stir, and she's crying. Douche comes in and wakes her up, and he's like, Mariska, who's in there with you? And as she's asleep, she's like, Freddy's in here with me. Commercial break.
Again. So many commercials.
Cut to from Villains Wiki. Sam Burpsmat may resemble a child, but he is actually hundreds, if not thousands of years old.
Yeah, but it's still uncomfortable.
It's weird. Listen, it's weird. I love Eric trying to defend his choice to include Burpsmat.
Look, he can join the fucking Bachelorette.
I'm just saying he may not get
Lorette.
picked. Slash
Yeah,
Lorette.
I don't know that he's gonna make it to the end.
So we're back from commercial. Cut to them in a very familiar boiler room.
How did we get here?
We'll find out. Spoiler alert. It's douchebag Zach's fault. So Mariska, like you, says, why did we come here? And he says, to help your imagination. And she
To
says,
help your imagination?
yes, that's what he says. I guess, so I will explain this to you
So
right
we're
now.
here in real life. We're not in a
Yeah.
dream.
Yeah. And here's what I'll explain to you, because it wasn't clear to me, but it's not really a spoiler. He thinks that if he can, like, stimulate her enough, like almost like give her more imagery almost, that she'll dream deeper and he'll be able to not have static in her dreams. Again, it's not an exact science. He's hooking up a VCR to some electrodes to a girl in a bed. So that's all I'm telling you. So he thinks, he's like, let's take her to the scene of the Freddy crime to make your dreams more potent, basically. And she says, I don't like it here at all. And I said, me either, girl, me either. And he says, that's why it's perfect. And she's like, I don't know, Zach. And he's like, look, we're onto something major here. And he's like, you can't just dream him. You got to experience him. You got to open yourself up to him.
I changed my mind. I don't want to anymore.
No.
I changed my mind about working with Zach.
I don't want to open my mind up to Freddy. So he's like asking all these questions. He's like, where do you think he stashed the bodies? Is it there or there? And then he like tries to startle her. And she's like, I hate it. And Zach is like, she's like, Zach, I don't need you to do this. I can dream on my own. Okay. He then kind of walks a ways ahead of her and she loses him. So like she loses him sort of in the boiler room. He's walked that far ahead. So question 7, what do you do? And what does Mariska do? You've lost Zach. He's no longer like right
Get
up
the
your
fuck out
asshole.
of there. I run away out of there. Run away.
Okay, what does Mariska
Goodbye
do?
forever. Never working with Zach again.
Zach's the worst.
Signing up for therapy.
Yeah.
And
And then the dating app.
Dating app. She looks for him? Question mark. Zach?
Double ding, unfortunately. Unfortunately, she goes and looks for him. I was like, yeah, goodbye. You lost him. Get out of here. So she calls for him. He scurries away from her more. And then the burner lights up. And then it goes out again. And she's calling and asking where he is. And there's a Freddy shadow on the wall that she can't see. And she's still calling him. And she's like, I'm tired of being scared. I'm not going to be scared anymore. The shadow is still there. And all of a sudden she hears a voice, a little voicing, please help me. Question 8, what do you do? What does she do?
Get the fuck out of there! Get out!
What's Mariska do for the little voice?
Betty, what?
I don't want to help anybody.
Does she try to help? Try to find the
Girl,
voice?
you know she does.
Mariska.
She tries to find the voice, so she goes towards the little kid voice, and it's a little girl in a cage, and she's like, help me.
What?
And Mariska tries to break her out, but the little girl starts being like, Freddy is coming. And we see Freddy coming down the stairs. Cut to static on the TV. She's motherfucking asleep again.
Oh my gosh. We won't ever awake. When are we ever
When
awake?
are we never ever awake? So Douche is like, why is it all static? While she screams for help in her sleep. And he starts hitting buttons because he's losing images and it's science. And he looks and it seems like there's something under the covers with her. Literally in real life. So he goes in and wakes her up and she hugs him. And she says, she says it's not safe to go back in there alone. He sees that her actual shirt is ripped.
Yes. Yes.
And
yes.
he's like, you don't have to. I'm going to go back in with you.
Why don't you just go in by yourself?
Why don't you just go in by yourself? I don't need to be there. I don't need to be there. Do you realize that all of this is because he wants to see naked dream boobs? All of this is just for a couple of naked dream boobs. And he might try to tell me, blah, 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 it's for science. It's not. It's for naked dream boobs. So, the true horror for me, at least, is the noise of TV static. Yeah. It's a scary sound.
You mean,
Kids today.
What did you do?
Yeah, what did I do? Something like that. I
You
don't
did
know.
something weird.
I did the opposite of whatever the static sound is. Yeah. So, cut to the little trapped girl, all static on the screen. Gary and Douche and a professor are now watching the screen. And the professor is like, I never thought you'd get this far. And he's like, this is truly remarkable. And he's like, if a little fear gets this far, imagine what a lot of fear would get. We got to push her to the edge, says Zach. And Gary is like, what? Gary is like, she came in on the edge, bruh. Like, Gary, I'm Team Gary.
Also,
all right?
how does being more scared help their research in any way?
Because of science.
I feel like every time she gets scared, it goes to static. So,
it's
actually less helpful.
Kim, they're men. They're smarter than us. They know the science. They have bigger brains and they understand how this works better than we do. And it's not in our best
right.
interest to even try to
You're
understand.
Right. I'm sorry.
You should be. So, oh my gosh.
Homer?
Steven?
Are you alive?
Yeah, Homer's a real joyrider. He's like, I'm alive! So Gary is like, oh no, Zach says, we're eliminating years of therapy here. Instead of lying on a couch, she can kick back over a TV dinner and watch her nightmare. Which I'm like, I can watch it. in my brain. Like, I don't need to do
I
that.
can watch it in my brain.
Yeah,
I don't need to watch it on the VCR.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to skip right to the therapy, honestly.
How
so,
does that help?
Kim, again,
I'm
I
sorry.
feel like you're asking
I'm sorry.
questions above your gender.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So the professor finally is like, yo, is this a research patient or a volunteer? And Gary gets pissed and is like, he's never gonna stop. Like, to the professor, he's like, you gotta get him to stop. And so they yell at each other because the professor's like starting to catch on. Like,
Yeah.
who, under what
what's going
pretense?
on
Why does
here?
she think she's here?
Right.
Because in your memo to get funding for this, you said you were trying to see dream boobs. Does she know you're trying to see dream boobs? Says the professor. Did you tell her it was just to see her dream boobs? So the professor's like, you're violating the subject. It ends here. And douchebag Gary stomps off, all pissed off and huffy. Cut to the sorority house, because so that the experiment's been cut off. No more funding for douchebag Gary. But we see that
Zach.
douchebag Zach. Thank you. We see that douchebag Zach is sitting on Mariska's bed in the sorority, being like, "It's over." And Mariska says, "But I don't want it to stop." Question 9, what do you do? What does Mariska do?
Maybe she's like, why don't we just try it here? Like, I'll go to sleep here. And
Okay.
you can, I don't know, watch me or sleep.
Watch me sleep,
next
you
to me?
fucking
I don't
creep.
know, like,
Yeah.
I mean, we are sitting on my bed, so
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna be like, I get the fuck out of my room, Zach. I never
Yeah.
want to see you again. I'm going to therapy. Thank you. Goodbye.
I so wish I could give you a double ding, but unfortunately, you didn't choose she kisses him.
Mariska!
I watched this alone, and I out loud went, "Oh, God damn it!" I was furious. I was like, that came out of so fucking nowhere. Like, what the fuck? She fucking kisses him. I was like, this entire time, I'm like, who's the villain? The villain is Zach. Second villain, Freddy. Honestly, Freddy's just doing his job. Freddy's job is to
Just
freak.
making jokes.
Freddy's
hanging
making jokes
out.
and being in your nightmares. That's his job. Zach is the villain here, and she fucking kisses the villain. So I was like, at this point, I was like, what were the writers writing? Like,
So, but from her perspective, he's helping her.
I,
Like she never thought that he wasn't
Guess.
helping her.
but she
Right?
didn't like his methods. He made her uncomfortable. Like, he sucked. We were all there, Mariska. We all saw that he sucked. You didn't like him at the party when you met him either. Girl, your grandma issues are really fucking your shit up. So, cut to Dreamland. We're back in Dreamland. And she's calling for Zach in the boiler room again, walking around looking for him. She hears the little girl again, looking for her, but only finds her bloody clothes this time, and sees her in there with her back to her, and turns around, but the little girl's a doll now. And Freddy is holding the doll. And Freddy says, "Poor baby, tell daddy all about it. Don't worry, I'll be gentle." And I was like, you're still less of a douche than Zach.
What, Freddie?
Still less of a douche than Zach. He then rips the doll open and starts strangling Mariska. Freddy is strangling Mariska.
Okay.
Mariska wakes up and it's Zach strangling her in real life. What? Yes. And he's saying to her, "Dream, give me something I can use. Think of it as the ultimate stimulus.
What?
Strangle, strangle, strangle. And all of a sudden, Freddy is now in the room, the real awake room behind douchebag Zach, and he has douchebag Zach around the neck and kills him.
Yay, Freddy!
So
Yay.
the hero of this episode
It's
is
Freddy Krueger.
Freddy Homer Krueger the First. I don't know what his middle name is. I bet it's Homer. He's the hero. He fucking kills douchebag Zach. But what we see is that Zach is now in his own dream with Freddy, and Mariska is still really upset, and she's like, you said we go in together. And she then wakes up. Freddy isn't there. She's alone, static on the TV. So she goes over to the TV and pushes play, and she sees her own dream in which Freddy kills Zach. And
brain
Zach
hurts.
is gone. Zach is gone. And she says, it's too late, Zach. He wants you. It's your nightmare now.
Goodbye. Sucks for you, bitch.
I am totally fine with this ending. And Mariska lives happily ever after and solves lots of sex crimes because she was inspired by douchebag Zach. Cut to a VCR with blood and guts pouring out of it. Freddy's sitting there watching, and then he turns around and says, stick that in your VCR and suck on it. The end. The end. Credits.
Wow.
Yeah. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Wow.
Zach's a douche.
That had so many dream layers. It was hard to follow.
I know. Listen, I was the one telling it and I couldn't follow it. So here's what's fun. So not only was this one of the 8 episodes that Freddy is in, but he's also the hero of the episode.
Yes. Well, these are his nightmares.
Yeah.
It's his show.
He's the hero of our nightmares. What were we going to say, Kim?
Apparently, Freddy's middle name is Charles.
Charles.
Frederick Charles Krueger.
Okay.
Michael Myers' middle name is Audrey.
Oh, okay. So his initials are Ma'am.
Can we only call Michael Myers ma'am
Ma'am.
from now on?
And
Ma'am.
Freddy's are fuck. FCK.
Fuck. They are.
Yeah.
Wow. Now we need to figure them all out.
Michael is so pissed that Freddy gets to be fuck and his are ma'am. He's so mad. Middle names of horror movie icons. I love it. Let me total your points. Talk amongst yourselves, everybody.
Hello. Tell me some more middle names that we can make acronyms out of. My middle name is... I didn't know what to talk about by myself. Oh, God, I'm panicking. This is the Monte Cristo sandwich of dream layer tales, says someone. And it is true.
Okay. All right. I need the audience help here.
It is Marie. How do you know Weeping Scarecrow? Charles Lee Ray.
Clear.
Not Chucky.
Yeah.
Clearer.
So, guys, I need your help. Is Mark dead or alive?
Is Mark dead or alive?
Tell us in the comments.
Is Mark dead or alive? Mariska and the little girl are still working. Zachary and Mark are not.
That checks out. Yeah.
Oh,
Meaning
of the actors, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh.
That checks out. Yeah.
Anyone know Candyman's
Middle name. I don't know. Okay, I'm gonna say
Mark
that
dead or alive?
I'm gonna say that Mark
I feel
is dead.
I feel like he's alive, probably in the world.
Oh, he's dead to all of us. You know what? I'm going with dead. I'm going with dead then.
I don't
That's
know.
right.
Which did I say?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I don't remember. but I'm
Did
only
you
giving.
write it down?
Well, because at this point I was like, oh, but I don't know if Mark is dead or alive. So now I forget what you said. So I'm gonna give you 3 out of 4. You got 3 out of 4.
It's interesting that everyone thinks Mark is dead.
Yeah.
I would think that Mark was just like a figment of her imagination. If you, well, that is if he was ever alive.
Right. Maybe because guys.
But if
the-
he was
the
alive, I
scariest-
think the current Mark was just in her
an
brain.
asshole. Yeah, but also it's like
It's just in her brain.
he was just in her asshole. Yeah.
Where have we gone?
And where are we? Okay, Kim,
Granny
you did
killed
great.
him. That's what some people are saying.
I
Okay,
hope so.
well, we'll go with dead. I get a
For-
point no matter what.
For Dead or Alive, you got 3 out of 4. And for questions, you got 15 and a half out of 18. For a total of 18 and a half out of 22, you bitch.
That's good. I
Great
definitely
job.
ripped the fuck out of that.
You did. This is going to go down in history as the time where Freddy was the hero of this.
It really was. Thanks,
Yeah.
Freddie.
Yeah, he saved us from the true villain, which is douchebag misogynists who are just trying to see our dream boobs.
Yes.
Dream boobs are only for us. Guys, thank you so much for coming
This
to our
was
show.
so fun.
We
I hope you
love-
all have fun.
Yeah, we love doing this. We will do more because it's fun for us, and I hope it was fun for you. And you can follow us at KK Sam Podcast on all the things. You can join our Facebook group, Sammy Stay Alive, maybe, where we will be starting our therapy/dating site.
Yes. And
um,
also, you can petition to join the / Lorette.
The / Lorette. And we also have a Patreon, and we also have brand new episodes that come out every Wednesday. Yeah, so we're just, guys, there's never going to be a time where you can't find us talking at you.
You
so
can go to KimandKatStayAlive.com for all the info.
all of it. Yeah. So with that,
Thank
this
you
has
so much for
been-
coming.
Thank you so much. This has been Kim and Kat Stay Alive.
Maybe.
So until our next live show, stay
Stay
alive.